Alright guys, so bushcraft tip number 1 is, if you're out in the woods and you don't have a sharpening stone of any kind, or, you just want to keep the edge of your blade honed, you can take your belt. And see, what I always do is, my belt is a little longer than I need it. So what I'll do is I will take it and I will strop my knife just up and down the blade. Alright, and now this knife wasn't very dull anyways, but it just keeps a good edge on it. So stropping in blade definitely helps to keep the edge nice. So that's tip number 1. Let's go to tip number 2. Alright guys, so here's tip number 2. I've heard people call it the possum mentality. So what you're going to do is, when you're out in the woods and you find just anything that you might be able to use later, so not that leaf, I don't want to use that leaf, but this is some dry grass. So this is going to be perfect for starting a fire. If you're on the move or something, you might not have, nice resources where you end up having to stay. So just, as you're hiking or whatever, just kind of go along, finding materials that you might be able to use later on, because you might not have them whenever you get to where you're going. And, that works for fire starters, or, I've seen people use this as insulation and stuff, sleeping bag, and just have that extra insulation. So whatever. That's tip number 2. Let's go to tip number 3. Alright guys, so bushcraft tip number 3 involves duct tape and a ferro rod. Alright, so what you do is, duct tape is very flammable, and the ferro rod will light it. So what you do is you take this duct tape and you just wrap it around a couple times. Alright, so not only do you have a little bit of duct tape for fire starting, so it gives you a little bit of a handle for your fire starter, and also, you've got duct tape for, patching a tarp or tent or whatever. So this duct tape is very multi-purpose, and you've got it for, like I said, quite a few things. Alright, let's go to tip number 4. Alright guys, so here's a good one. You've got all this paracord, but what do you do with it? Alright, so what I always do is I take it and then just wrap it, alright, between my pinky and my thumb, and I just wrap. And then with the last, what would be wrap, you just take it and kind of tie it up with it. Alright, and then I just wrap it around one more time. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but you've got your paracord right there. It's all nice and neat. Then when you need it, just undo that, and it is not tangled up at all. You don't have to worry about untangling all of it. It's just quick and easy. That's tip number 4. Alright guys, so last bushcraft tip. So a lot of people, what they do is, whenever they are striking the ferro rod, they'll take their knife and go down the ferro rod like that. Alright, instead, usually what you'll do is you'll hit your tinder or something, make it go everywhere, or put the flame out. Instead, hold your knife still, take your ferro rod and go. Alright, that way, if your tinder was right there, it's all going to go right there. You're not going to take your knife and hit it, put the flame out or whatever. Just, it's a whole lot simpler and easier. Let me know what you guys think. Leave me a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you guys like the bushcraft tips. I can do more of them. Alrighty guys, I will see you on the next one.